victory as he swung the bat that ends the ball game. Twice here, Colorado rallies late to beat the Red Sox. Final today 8-6. So in a series of baseballs, 2 losingest teams, Colorado takes 2 out of 3.
Yeah, 3-3 on this road trip. Starting pitch a lot better than that. I mean, the ERA was fantastic. This one here, as I mentioned, the defense let you down. He felt offensively he did enough to put 6 up, but defense let you down late. Bullpen as well. Haven't lost too many games like that this year, but you dropped.
They lose 2 out of 3 to the Colorado Rockies. You know the Rockies went 43-119 last year. That was their one-loss record. They were outscored. This is unbelievable. I was looking some of this up. I didn't realize it was this bad because they're a little bit better this year. They went 43-119 last year. They were outscored by 424 runs.
Jesus.
Their run differential was minus 424. This year, the Rockies also have the worst record in baseball. They are now 32-49 with today's win. The Red Sox are 32-46.
They're right on their heels. Colorado better watch out, Mazz.
The Red Sox have the 4th worst record in baseball, and they are 1.5 games behind the Rockies for the number 1 pick in the Major League draft in 2027. So that's where we start tonight on the Baseball Hour. Forgive me for laughing. We'll get more. We'll get to more on the game here in a minute. It's really, honestly, it's really not even about the game. More about the team in a minute in terms of the quality of play or lack thereof. I do want to follow up on last night's game just a little for one reason and one reason only, and that was Sonny Gray. Because this all relates to something that was in the Boston Globe today, written by Tim Healy, with comments from Craig Breslow about the trading deadline. And I wonder what Craig Breslow is smoking over at Fenway Park. Is there a dispensary near Fenway? There's got to be.
Oh, right across the street.
On Lansdowne Street. Yeah. That's right. Yep. Yeah, that's right. There's a dispensary over there. So they can smoke a few bones over at Fenway Park in the afternoon if they want. It's an old school word, I know, but nonetheless. So Sonny Gray after the game last night. I'll just make this quick. Sonny Gray was terrific last night.
Been awesome most of the year, pretty much all of the year.
I said this to Felger earlier in the day, and again, Matt, did I say that Matt McCarthy's alongside? If I didn't, you already heard the voice. So Matt McCarthy is with us for the entirety of the program tonight. And I said this, I'm not sure people have looked at it or realize it. The Red Sox, again, are 32-46. 32-46. 4th worst record in the game. Sonny Gray is 9-1. The Red Sox are now, I think they're 10-4 in his 14 starts. And he alone is 9-1. And I know all the dorks and nerds and stat geeks and analysts all want to say that wins and losses aren't a good way to evaluate pitchers anymore. I get it. I understand that there are, variables in there that you don't necessarily take into account. I get it. When a team is 32-46 and one guy is 9-1, I would submit that the record actually does mean something.
It's Carlton-esque is what it is.
So good description. For those people who don't know, Steve Carlton won 27 games, I think it was, for a team that won like 55 or something like that.
I just looked it up. 27 for a team that won 59.
59 games. Okay, so again, just a miraculous accomplishment by Steve Carlton. It's incredible how it tells you how good he was. And I think Sonny Gray is having that kind of year. So Sonny Gray, after last night's game, made a comment about pitching in Colorado. And if you were to ask me to identify a guy who might have more trouble in Colorado than the typical pitcher, Sonny Gray would be the guy.
A lot of break.
I'm sorry?
A lot of break.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right, exactly. He's a breaking ball pitcher, spins the crap out of the thing. Pitchers always complained that they couldn't grip the ball in Colorado, so they couldn't spin it. It was just all fastballs. The hitters teed off on the fastballs. And on top of it all, I think Sonny Gray historically is the kind of guy that didn't do well with these sorts of obstacles. Last night, he was terrific. He really was. He was great. Here's what Sonny Gray said after the game.
We were just, talking about this. It's just your second career start at Coors Field, second time pitching at elevation. You stayed with the sweeper tonight. How was that pitch able to maintain being, the plan that you had gone into the year with?
I don't know, man. You just have to flip your mindset because I think this place is it is what it is. And if you give it like an inch in your mental space, then it can start to take over. And obviously I think it's important to be aware that you're pitching at elevation, but at the same time, once you start making excuses and stuff like that, then it just kind of wears on you, and then you lose your confidence out there. And I just joke with everybody. I'm just like, I can spin the ball on the moon, it's just a little thing that I'm just tricking my mind into just believing that it can do anything. So, it's just another place,
So now, look, I don't know whether Sonny Gray actually believes all that stuff, or he's sort of. What's the word I'm looking for? Embrace the power of positive thinking and fully submerged himself in that sort of logic for the mental toughness. Because early in his career, he had a lot of problems. In New York, had a lot of problems, couldn't handle the big market. Maybe part of the reason he's having a good year now is because the Red Sox are 32-46. In other words, the games don't mean anything. He can just go out and pitch. And I would tell you that now is the time to trade Sonny Gray. The question is, will the Red Sox do it? So, Matt McCarthy, let me read this comment, and then I'll get your thoughts. Craig Breslow to Tim Healy of the Globe when asked about the deadline and making deals early. Will be realistic and do what is best for the organization, Breslow said. But I still think we're capable of playing better and stacking some wins together, and hope that we can do that in the coming days and weeks. End quote. Matt, go ahead.
Let me ask you a direct question, but it's also a rhetorical question, Mazz. How stupid is Craig Breslow? Seriously. There's no way he actually believes that, right? There's no way on planet Earth he legitimately believes what he said. And that's my only reaction to it, because he cannot possibly be that stupid. That comment can't be based in reality. My sense is he's just saying that because he thinks he has to say it. Oh, well, it's not the trading deadline yet. I'll say we can still turn things around. There's no possible way he believes that. No way. He can't possibly be that dumb or that dense to look at this team and say, well, there's a chance. There's always a chance. What planet are you operating on? So my sense would be he's saying it because he feels an obligation to say it, which in some ways is even worse, because isn't this once again a sign that Craig Breslow can't communicate? It would be, dude, just come out and say what we all know. You're going to trade guys at the deadline. You're going to sell. The team is going to, and let baseball know. Let everybody know publicly. I'm sure you're letting people know privately, but why do we need to, pea-foot around it at this point? Just call it what it is. We're going to have a fire sale. Veterans are up for grabs. We're open for business. That would be good, but he can't bring himself to do it because he can't communicate. Communication. It's his number one problem, and it showed up there again.
So here's my point, Matt, and listen, I'm with you. The Red Sox should be acting sooner rather than later. And if I'm a team that is in the race, and there's been a lot of rumors about Sonny Gray going to the Atlanta Braves because he lives in Nashville, it's a drive to Atlanta, et cetera, and he can basically live at home and play for the Braves, or essentially. Yeah. Okay, it's I don't know exactly how long a commute it is, but you get the idea. Here's the other thing, and to me, this is a big one, that right now the Red Sox have played 78 games, which means they have 84 left. Wouldn't you rather have Sonny Gray for a full half season instead of getting him on August 3rd and, all of a sudden losing some games? Now, look, the Braves are far enough ahead where maybe they don't feel the urgency because they say, let's wait it out, see who's healthy, and we'll go from there. But for teams that are on the cusp of the playoffs, on the bubble, and again, I know Gray has to approve the deal, but you get the idea.
He will. Okay? Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, so he might want to go to some place more than others. Yeah. So he might be able to engineer that a little bit, but I would say that I would act sooner rather than later. And another comment that Breslow made last night, the first thing we need to do, he said, is take care of what's happening here and do everything we can to figure out how to play better baseball and stack some wins together. After that, when teams make the decision to sell off players, particularly those that are maybe on expiring contracts, you try to get the best return you possibly can. Sometimes that's available early. Sometimes you don't know what a team is truly willing to pay up until you are closer to the deadline.
It's the same mistake last year. He waited it out. He got caught with his pants down with the Joe Ryan thing because it's, let's wait. No, Dave Dombrowski had it right. Set the market. Set the market if you're selling. Get ahead of the market if you're buying. It's what you should do. But no, I guess we should wait it out and see how long it takes, for a team to offer, a second prospect to us in a deal. What is the point of trying to maximize every single deal you make? You're better off making the deal now and starting to fix this thing and getting 95% of the return that you were going to get. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And but no, he doesn't live in reality. Because what happens if you wait and the market isn't what you think the market's going to be, and now all of a sudden you get 75% of what a player's worth? Then you're not trading him because we're not getting fair value. It's the same thing with Jaron Duran. It's why they didn't trade him last year. It's why they didn't trade him 2 years ago. It's like, well, we should hold out for more. Are you sure more is coming? Because chances are more is not coming. Take the sure thing right now.
Or you run the risk of the player going into a slump, let alone an injury.
Getting hurt. Yep.
All kinds of possibilities that could foul up the equation. So to me, I'd unload him as quickly as possible. I'd venture to guess that ownership would do the same. It saves you some money at a minimum. You don't have to make salaries match in Major League Baseball. So we'll start there. We'll get to a couple of other things as well. There was a review of a play at third base in this game today that was overturned by replay that should make you mad on multiple levels. We'll explain what that was, and it goes hand in hand with a play that happened in Major League Baseball last night. Also, the Rafael Devers saga continuing in San Francisco with the Giants. Buster Posey made some interesting comments last night. We'll try to get to those as well, and we'll take your thoughts on all of that and more on the Baseball Hour tonight with Matt McCarthy.
Stay tuned for more of the Baseball Hour with Tony Mazz.
By to right. Freeman backing up on the run. Reaches, can't get it. That took off. Well, their outfielder's having a devil of a time. He's rounding second. He's heading for third. And the throw will not get him. He is in there safely with a 3-base hit. And this is going to be challenged at third. The safe call. Carroll's put the tag there.
This is going to be one of those pop-up slides. He's obviously beats the throw, but when he slides and hits the bag, he pops up a little bit. Does he come off the bag at all? His foot's still on. Jeez, I don't want to. I honestly can't deal with the pop-up slide thing. Does his foot come off at all right here? Oh, my God.
I mean, you could slide a sheet of paper in there if it did.
If it did at all, but this is not why we have the rule.
It would also take away, if they overturn it, his first career triple.
Yeah.
After initially contacting the base safely, Navarez pops up off the bag with both feet. The tag is on him. He is out. The call is overturned. Colorado will take
About that. So that'll be on number 1.
Just look at his molded cleats. Cleats barely.
This today, but it was one of the things that happened in the game, and it should drive you crazy if you're a fan, because this was never the spirit of replay. And this play is like the classic replay going overboard type of play. Again, Narvaez slid into the bag, and then when he popped up for a split second, his foot came off the bag. As if he slid into the bag, he was easily safe, and as he's popping up, his foot loses contact with the bag for just a split second. Felger has used this analogy before, like as if you could slide a credit card under his spikes. Just enough to see daylight, but like barely. He's called out. So is that the spirit of the rule?
No, the spirit of replay is to address and fix the egregious error. So no, that's not the spirit of replay.
Okay.
I would say it's the spirit of the rule. You need to be in contact with the bag. So I guess those are two different questions. Is it the spirit of the rule or the spirit of replay? Right.
And so I would just say, though, that generally speaking, over the years in baseball, they've let that one go. Unless the disconnection, for lack of a better word, with the base is obvious, like the player comes off a full step, starts to take a lead, or unless it's like that, they never used to call that. Now with replay, they do call it because it's on video. What are you going to do? That's the rule. And I would say I don't like the rule. In the same breath, to Carlos Narvaez, stay on the effing bag. Just keep your foot on the bag. You have to learn how to not pop up. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not talking about the pop-up slide. If you want to pop up, fine. But keep your feet on the bag. There's got to be a way to do that. But this is who the Red Sox are. They do stupid things and then open the door for what I consider to be a ticky-tack rule to screw you. And the reason I mention it, he was sliding into third base. They lost the game by 2 runs. So every run counts. Every single one, especially when you suck. But the Red Sox are now in contention for the number 1 pick. The Rockies currently have it. The Red Sox clearly won it. Because that's how they play.
Do you want me to pour some water on your number 1 pick passion here, Mazz?
Sure, go ahead.
You do realize baseball went to a draft lottery this past year,
So
right?
I know that. Yeah. I mean,
so it's going to hurt their chances.
Okay.
They're going to surpass Colorado, and then they're going to get screwed out of the number 1 pick.
I mean, it's
the
unbelievable.
ping pong porking is coming for the Red Sox.
They'll probably end up with like the 8th pick.
That's right.
It'll be rigged.
That's where they deserve it.
So again, as we said, Craig Breslow, Sonny Gray should be Exhibit A of a guy you trade easy, and you'll get something for him. He's pitching well. And I'm talking about, aside from the numbers, how he's throwing the ball, he is pitching very, very well. I watched a good chunk of that game last night. He was excellent. So we'll take your calls. Gino in a car kicks us off on the game today. Go ahead, Gino.
Hey, what's going on? I wanted to say, first and foremost, absolutely embarrassing performance, and this is who we are. We lose series to the Colorado Rockies. But I did just want to mention one point about trading some veterans, especially like on the pitching staff, Sonny Gray mostly. If you want to do it, absolutely, it's easy. But I do have a little bit of concern in the fact of this could kind of be like the opposite of the offense, where maybe if you trade some of those veteran guys, you can put a little bit too much on the young players, and that in turn makes them not perform as well. So that would just be my one and only concern. But if you got to get rid of Sonny Gray and you get good return from him, then it is what it is, you know?
Yep. So, Gino, if they were in the race, I might feel the same way. They're not in the race, Matt. So that part doesn't concern me. Now, if they don't replace Gray going into next year, in other words, they don't create some sort of safety net for some of the young guys, because I think what we learned this year is you can't assume with young players that 1 year carries into the next.
Yep.
Because with Roman Anthony, it didn't carry over.
Well, we knew that, Mazz. They didn't. I mean,
really, but a colossal mistake.
Oh, unbelievable mistake. How can you expect it's like because everything is expected, right? And it's a projection. It takes the human element out of it. Well, Roman Anthony's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a stud. You think he's going to be a stud. Does that mean it's going to happen right away? And are you going to get the most out of him if you ask too much out of him? The computer doesn't calculate that. Craig Breslow doesn't calculate that. So, yeah, of course. With the pitching staff, though, I mean, Crochet will be here. I know we forget about him because he hasn't pitched. Suarez will be here. I'm not too concerned about that.
Yeah, and by then, you may still have Tanner Houck or, and I'm not telling you he's any great shakes, but you would have the framework there of veteran players to be able to support some of those young guys, whether you're talking about Early, Tolley, whoever. Sean in Marlboro wants an apology from me. I don't know what it is. I'll decide after you tell me whether you get it.
So you are talking about exactly what I talked about 2 weeks ago-ish. I said trade Sonny Gray in case he falls off or gets injured because he has an injury history, and then start shopping the other guys that have been talked about over the next month or so till the deadline. You said, no, wait until the deadline because you'll get more for him. And now 2 weeks later, you're saying, don't wait to trade Sonny Gray, trade him now. So, Mazz, I love you. 99% of the time, I think you're spot on, but you flipped what your thought was on this Sonny Gray trade thing.
So, Sean, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the apology. I watched the game last night. He was terrific. And I thought if I were a team in the race, I would call the Red Sox and try to get Sonny Gray. Now, generally speaking, I do think Breslow was right, that the prices get higher the closer you get to the deadline. There's more competition. There might be more teams in the mix. Who the hell knows? But what I would say is it requires, to act now requires a team or an executive like Dave Dombrowski, who typically would be aggressive and say, because if you remember, he made the Nate Eovaldi deal early in
July. Yep.
And I think he did something similar with Steve Pearce the year it was the same year.
Didn't they get Pomeranz in late June, early July? Pomeranz was early too. Dombrowski always got his shopping done early.
So you know what, Matt? Take a quick peek and see if, but I'd be willing to bet. All I'm saying is if that deal falls in your lap, someone comes to you early, move them. What the hell are you waiting for? You're gonna try to sell me the illusion that your team is in the race and that winning games somehow means more at this stage when you've already flushed the season?
Pomeranz was the 14th of July. I bet Eovaldi was about the same time.
Okay, and just quickly look up Steve Pearce too, because Pearce might have been earlier. He might have been before Eovaldi. I don't remember that, but I remember Dombrowski acting early.
June 28th.
Was Eovaldi?
Was Pearce.
Okay.
Spot on, Mazz.
Yeah, so
and Eovaldi might have been just a few days later than that.
So my recollection is that there are teams that will act aggressively and say, you know what, there's a good player out there who fits what we're trying to do, and that's who we're going to go get.
Eovaldi was July 25th. That's later. That's later than I remember.
So that was later. Yeah. So Pearce was early.
Real quick, though. You don't have to trade everybody now.
That's right.
But if you trade Gray now, you set the market, hopefully for deals to come. Now we'll see if the market, ultimately builds and gets to where you want it to get. But if you make one deal now, it's often the first deal that sets up the price for the next deal and the next deal and the next deal. And typically prices get higher as you approach the deadline. But oftentimes prices get so high that deals don't happen at the deadline because people say, I'm out. That's the danger the Red Sox run. That's the risk they run. So I'd make one or two moves early on and then hope you really capitalize as the deadline approaches.
Unless you have a chief executive who can't predict what the market is going to be because he has no experience.
Well, that is true.
So that could be one thing. All I know is this. I guess what I'm saying is this, Matt. If I were a team out there already looking for starting pitching help, in other words, I know I'm going to need starting pitching at the deadline. You look at the really bad teams and say, well, they're definitely selling. and you identify the guys who are throwing the ball the best. Sonny Gray is throwing the crap out of the ball. He's pitched well pretty much all year. He's had one start where he's allowed more than 3 runs. 13 out of 14, I believe it is, he's allowed 3 runs or fewer. Unsurprisingly, that was his only loss of the year. The rest of the time, and look, I'm not telling you Colorado's any great shakes, but hard place to pitch. And with the way that ball was spinning in that environment last night, because some of those pitches he threw, he calls it a sweeper. To me, a sweeper is more side to side. This ball was, it's a slider that acts more like a split. It drops. It is vicious. He had 11 strikeouts last night, and if I were a team looking to add a pitcher, I would immediately say to our chief executive, hey, what about Sonny Gray? I saw him pitch last night. He was lights out. He's been good all year. So that's my only point. And if the Red Sox are turning that away over some stupid, principle about how they're going to handle the deadline, that's idiotic. We'll get to more of your calls. I want to touch on Rafael Devers as well, because Buster Posey made a comment last night in San Francisco about Devers needing to take accountability. We'll play that for you when we come back. Kevin Majori's got your headlines. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Baseball Hour.
Sports Hub headlines.
why that has happened the way that it has. I mean, you can go back and look at Rafi's career numbers and make an argument that has been one of the elite hitters in the league. So I don't have a great answer for you.
Given his stature on this team, Buster, would you like Devers to be more public rather than having you and everyone else speak for him?
I think everybody has to be themselves. I mean, ultimately, and again, I haven't talked to Rafi about this. I do think he understands that there's got to be some accountability, and sometimes it's not fun to stand in front of a microphone or a camera. But that's something that he's going to need to work on.
San Francisco Giants general manager Buster Posey talking about Rafael Devers. That last part there, and this all goes back to Devers refusing a pinch runner. The Sunday game against the Marlins, that was in Florida. It was a series finale, a trip finale before the Giants flew home. And that last part basically saying, hey, you're caught in the middle of something, pal. You got to face the music. So I give Buster Posey a little bit of credit for saying that. Boy, the Giants have had an absolute poop storm of a week out there, haven't they?
Not great.
You've been following this whole thing?
A little with the Devers stuff? Oh, yeah.
And also the pride hats that the players wore and putting, Bible verses on their hats.
I have not been following that story as much.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but what a freaking poop storm with the Giants.
That whole organization, and by the way, if you want to talk about maybe the only organization in baseball that has kind of mirrored the Red Sox on the way down. Look at where the Red Sox and Giants were in 2021. They were, two of the better teams in baseball that year, and they have completely gone the other way.
And those are really, again, I say this all the time, Matt. I'll make this quick before we get back to the phones. And if you have thoughts on Devers, we'll take those too. I see a couple of you on the line already, but I am a big believer in the strength of a franchise, the strength of a good franchise, the brand power can be measured by road attendance numbers, not by home attendance numbers, road attendance numbers. When those teams travel, who comes out to see you? And it's typically all of the oldest, more established traditional teams in the sport. Yankees, Cubs, Dodgers, Cardinals, Red Sox, Giants. All these teams have been around, and some of them have changed location. Obviously, the Dodgers and the Giants both moved out to the West Coast from New York, but their fan bases are scattered about the country. They are big market, big brands, and when they go into visiting ballparks, no matter where they go, the fans show up.
Yeah, the Blue Bloods.
Absolutely. Good way to put it. They are, and the Giants and Red Sox are blue blood organizations.
No doubt.
And they are both clown shows right now. The Giants are a freaking mess. They are a mess. And they have not gone whole hog analytics. Buster Posey's a former player who was hired in large part to sort of fly in the face of all these analytics hires and corporate hires that have been strewn about Major League Baseball. And the Giants are no better off than anybody else. At the end of the day, it comes down to decision making.
No doubt about it. And the Giants, too, had, again, if we're talking about mirroring the Red Sox, they had a very Chaim Bloom, Craig Breslow type figure there in Farhan Zaidi, and that did not go well. It looked like it was going to go well. Then it went in the dumpster, just like the Red Sox, and the Giants went in a different direction. They said, we're going to hire a former player, again, probably because you're selling the fan base on Buster Posey, and Posey went in. I don't know if you remember his opening press conference, Mazz. It was one of the best things I've heard as a baseball fan. I'm like, this guy is declaring war on nerds. He's declaring war on analytics, and he hired a college coach kind of trying to replicate the Pat Murphy experience in Milwaukee, and it just hasn't worked out. I'm disappointed as a baseball fan that the Buster Posey experience isn't working out, but boy, are they finding out what a pain in the ass Rafael Devers is. That guy is a spectacular pain in the ass.
So the one thing that Buster Posey and Craig Breslow have in common, and again, we're going to get back to your phones in a second, inexperience.
Yep. Okay?
So to me, it comes down to people who have done it and done it well, and neither one of those guys has. Drew is in Boston on, he says, how bad is the CBO? He's talking about Craig Breslow, Chief Baseball Officer. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, so they're not going to make any moves, Tony. It's going to be the same story as every year, and I'll tell you why. It's because the guys they hire are so weak-kneed and feckless that they have no fortitude to make a move where they don't look like they won entirely. Like not just that they won, but it's something they can shove in the face of ownership and say, look how good I am at my job, don't fire me. That's the first problem they have. The second is they have to admit that by selling, they are wrong in their approach to begin the season. And they also can't admit that to themselves. So they lie to all of us, including themselves, and say, we're good, we're still in it. And they don't want to show the fans, oh, we're trading, we're going to make moves for the future, even though it's the smart and the right thing to do and the fans would actually appreciate it, because they can't afford to wave a white flag because, God forbid, they don't sell out the museum, that they still will with all the out-of-towners every night.
Hey, Drew.
But it's the same thing every year.
Yeah, so don't hang up, because there was a story in the Globe the other day, and I'm not telling you this is an easy pull, but I don't think they're going to do nothing. Now, what they do is open to debate, and certainly what's more open to debate is how well they do it. But there was a suggestion in the Globe the other day by Alex Spear that what if they were to go out on the deadline and instead of trying to get prospects and deal for the future, they try to get some sort of established players back?
So I don't think they'll do that, because no one who's in the hunt that wants to acquire talent is going to give up talent. That's the first problem. And the second thing I'll say is, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I called in with the same thing. The year they fired Chaim Bloom, and I told you, I said, they're not going to make a move. And you were dead set that they were going to, because you said, if they don't, Chaim Bloom will get fired. And I said, well, that's going to happen. And guess what? They didn't do a damn thing at the deadline, and Chaim got fired. And Craig is no more ballsy than Chaim was.
Okay.
So it's just the same thing.
Yeah,
I think that's wrong.
So the real reason he called is to tell me I was wrong 3 years ago. That was really the whole idea.
Shame on you,
call.
Mazz. You want to apologize for that one, too?
But that's okay. I'll take it. All I'm saying is this. I don't think they're going to do nothing. And he's right about it's hard to make deals when, and get back veteran players when the team acquiring the player in a deal wants to make a run at it. But they did it in 2014, I think it was. They traded Lester for Cespedes. They got Joe Kelly and Alan Craig from the Cardinals. And I'm not telling you they were good deals. I'm just telling you those were the deals they made. So it would not surprise me if they try to do something similar at this deadline.
And I hate that.
So do I.
I hate that, because the caller is right. Who is trading pieces from their big league roster if you're adding the likes of Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman? The answer is not that many teams. And if they are moving pieces off their roster, you know who you're getting? You're getting Dustin May. That's what you're getting. Or you're getting Alan Craig, who's damaged goods. So the real move, and we talked about this a little bit last week, Mazz, and I am also concerned that the Red Sox are going to target established big leaguers in return for the guys that they're going to ship out of here to say, see, we'll pivot and we'll win next year. The real move is to trade for prospects and then flip those prospects, or the majority of them, this offseason. You accumulate assets now, and then when everybody's open for business this offseason or after the lockout, whenever that may be, then you start to unload the assets that you accumulated. They need to go into asset accumulation mode, but not asset hoarding mode, which is, they're two different things.
And I'm sure I've asked you this, but I forgot your answer. Would you trade Contreras?
I would, but I'm not rushing out the door to do it. Again, it depends on what the value is, what I'm getting back in return. They've had a hard time finding right-handed hitters, certainly for this year's team. More importantly, they've had a hard time finding first baseman. He's a really good player. The only argument I'd make for trading Contreras is he's a really good player on a team that's going to win. And if you can get something in return for him, I would definitely consider it. But I would have to be like, I'll take 85 cents on the dollar for Sonny Gray. I'll take 85 cents on the dollar for Aroldis Chapman. I'll take 5 cents on the dollar for Jarren Duran. I need 100 cents on the dollar for Wilson Contreras to make that deal happen.
Tom's in Quincy. Our buddy Tom, what do you got?
Hey, what's going on, guys? There's a couple things. First of all, Mazz, remember I taught you like 8 years ago about this thing we talked about?
Yeah, exactly, Tom.
Like, come on. Listen, I have been bitching and moaning about how this front office has run since Bloom walked in the door. And Bloom did his thing, and it sucked, and it was awful. And then they S-canned him, and they brought Breslow in, and everyone tells me that Breslow has more balls, and he's willing to trade guys, this and that. To which I say, he should have been fired after out number 3 today. by losing 2 or 3 to Colorado.
Matt McCarthy said the same thing. He said the same thing, Tom. Keep going.
He cannot be left in charge of this deadline. He cannot do it. He cannot do it. And there's guys out on that team that do have value somehow to other teams. No value here. Sonny Gray has been a phenomenal, a very experience that I did not expect. How about that?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Like Duran should have been traded 2 years ago. Half these the rest of these veterans, they should be made available to whoever. And Matt, as far as getting 95% or 75%, 50%, 30%, you're not going to get anything close to that unless the only teams you deal with are the effing Cardinals or the Pirates. That's the only teams this jackass can close with. Get him out of here. Trade every veteran, every single one if you can. If you have people that are going to say, hey, you know what? We have bullpen help. Hey, you know what? We have this. Trade them, because this team is an effing embarrassment to watch. That thing today, I turned to the guy next to me. I go, this is the most frustrating team I've ever seen. The most anemic offense in the history of the franchise puts up runs, and they still lose.
Tom, it is. It's the same. I'm telling you, they invent ways to lose. It doesn't matter what the score is or how much they score. The other guy always scores more. It really is. It's unbelievable.
You know, I found them to be unwatchable in recent weeks, Mazz. This series was unbelievably watchable. The way they found ways to lose, it was tremendous.
It was wildly entertaining.
Tremendous product from the Red Sox. When was the last time you could say that? This series was great.
The only thing I will tell Tom is whether he's here or not, and he's going to be here, Craig Breslow's not running the deadline.
No, he's not.
Okay? He might be making the calls and doing the legwork, but at the end of the day, someone else is going to make the decision over there, whether it's ownership and upper management. They consult Theo, Eddie Romero, some combination of all of them. It'll be some sort of group discussion. It will not be Craig Breslow making the final call. I can promise you that. Mike's in Hyde Park. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, how are you guys? Heidi Bloom, yes, horrible, but he did do a lot for this for our farm system.
You sure about that?
Not really, but I'd like to give him some sort of little bit of credit.
Okay, so Mike, thanks for the call. It's reasonable now to look at. Now look, they were going to take Marcelo Meyer at number 4 with any GM, but the fact that maybe not. I shouldn't say that. Meyer slipped to them. He might not be able to play.
I'll tell you what. You should be real worried by what you've seen.
So I know you have strong thoughts about Meyer, so go ahead.
Yeah, I've been on this for 2 years, Mazz. I guess you could say I'm the original Marcelo Meyer hater in Boston. He got to AA, and it became apparent that there were questions about him hitting lefties and hitting curveballs. I've seen that story before. That is like old school baseball. Can you hit the curve? Yes, sir. They made a Disney movie about it, for Christ's sakes. Can you hit the curve? Or something close to it.
Trouble with the curve.
Yes. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's the oldest adage in baseball. Trouble with the curve. Can you hit the curve? Can you hit a hook? It's why when all of us were 14 years old, we saw a curveball for the first time, that ended most of us. It ended Marcelo Meyer when he got to Portland. You found out that he can't hit a curveball. So at that point, a real GM makes a hard decision and says, we either need to trade him or stick it out and believe he can do it. I don't think the Red Sox even considered it, because it was just determined that he was the second coming. And it turns out that he really didn't hit all that much at AA and AAA. Not for any impact. Hit for a little average, but that was fine. No power. He gets to the big leagues. He can't hit lefties. He can't hit off speed. He can't hit for power. Can't hit anything. Guy hits 200 at Fenway. He hits 400 in the Seaport, though. He's great in the Seaport. It's Teddy Ballgame in the Seaport, Mazz. And he can't do anything else. So I don't want to say I saw it coming with Meyer, but it wasn't that hard to predict that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't Corey Seager, which is what we were promised when he was drafted years ago.
So let me leave you with this on Marcelo Meyer. The last time the Red Sox were on a road trip in the series finale, he had started to swing the bat well. I don't remember where the hell they were. He was starting to swing the bat well, and they finished with a day game on the road trip, and he didn't play because of neck spasms and back spasms. Mm-hmm. Last night, again, day game today, he fouled the ball off his foot, was out of the lineup today, but then somehow made it in the game as a defensive replacement later.
Durbin got hurt.
Okay.
Yep. So Meyer comes in and helped cost them the game defensively, which I will say he is an aberration.
So if he could play when Durbin got hurt, how come he didn't play at the beginning?
Because he's kind of soft and doesn't really want to play and isn't that interested in baseball.
Again, day game after a night game.
It's happened multiple times.
So I wonder what's going on there. In any case, Matt, thanks for joining as always.
Always fun, Mazz.
Who's doing headlines?
I would guess it would be Majori, and there you go.
Okay, Majori's doing headlines. I know you did the last ones, but I heard you two clowns talking earlier about maybe Matt was going to do the ones at 7 o'clock.
Absolutely not. It's all you, Majori. They don't pay me by the word.
And by the way, I just came to the realization that there was gum stuck to the bottom of my keyboard over here today.
Oh, Jesus.
I wonder how that got there. You guys got any ideas on that?
We're going to have to check the cameras, as Jake Seymour just told me.
Yeah, I wonder.
Stop being such an animal, Mazz.
Really a wad of gum that was stuck on the bottom of the keyboard. It's like someone put it there to prevent the keyboard from moving around.
Resourceful.
I mean, I'm at a loss to guess how that happened.
Well, the immediate suspect last time was proven not guilty, and it was Jameli, so...
Actually, that's not true. As it turned out, it was the same person that time. Anyway, we'll catch you tomorrow on the Baseball Hour.
See you.